Hello everybody, this is Amanda Dambuza and welcome to Vastly Sage. I am very excited about today's episode as it's one of the most critical elements that have shifted the needle in my own journey. Personal branding and reputation management has been a buzzword for a while, but often reserved for people who seemingly have class. Nothing could be further from the truth. And today I'm joined by Janine Hills, the personal branding and reputation management doyen herself. Janine, it is such a pleasure to have you on my show. Oh my gosh, Vastly Sage is more blessed that you're here.
No, come on. Thank you. Congratulations on your show. This is amazing. I mean,
so
wow,
much.
what an amazing set and a studio. Thank you for the invite. I really appreciate it.
I never thought I'd say studio, but
we also don't say no to Amanda Dambuza when you ask to go on the show. I mean, inaugural show. So thank you very much.
It's my great pleasure. And I really couldn't have thought of a better person to have this conversation with.
Thank you.
You are highly respected in society. You are absolutely a genius in what you do, and you've done it over such a long period of time. So tell us about your latest baby, Janine Hills Authentic Leadership. What does that do?
Well, I mean, Amanda, it's a culmination really of the last 38 years all coming together, you know, and I think it's about building reputations, building both from the inside out, building companies from the inside out, and most importantly, the journey of like South Africa and as our continent, you know, if we look at our continent and what we've been through and as our country, what we've been through, you know, we were on the high as our reputation. Remember the 1994s?
Of course. Yes.
We've slipped back substantially as a reputation. So we've got a lot of work to do as citizens, as a country, as a government. So that's a lot of the work that I do. And of course, leadership now, being an authentic leader to me plays a vital role in the head of the country, the head of a business, the head of an SMME, head of a family.
Yeah, isn't that what we're called for right now though? Isn't it like the time is absolutely ripe for authentic leadership? What is authentic leadership?
You know, the way I've coined it is about honesty, integrity, sustainability, reliability, and trust.
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 That magic word.
Correct.
I think that there's been a significant loss of trust between, and I mean, we can't talk about, you know, personal branding and reputation management without actually seeing ourselves as individuals, and as you said, as then, you know, citizens of South Africa Inc. as an organization itself. So how does trust play a factor in you know, not just these COVID times, which have been incredibly testing? How do we move forward from a place of trust and rebuild, you know, that which we may have lost or broken? And we'll come back to the conversation about, you know, what does actual personal branding mean? But I just want to talk about this trust element. How do we rebuild?
So you've gone to the real crux of exactly
right
into it, okay? I mean, you know, right into it, okay? I mean, I might have to just have a sip of Veuve, you know, so please forgive me. Congratulations, sir.
Yes.
Congratulations. I think we must have celebrated. I think that's the one thing we don't do enough of as South Africans and Africans. We don't celebrate our successes enough. We always wait for everybody else to be successful. The US, the UK, and somehow they give us our endorsement. And that's what I'm really advocating. I know you love that.
Course,
is we are powerful as Africans. And if we can drop our issues, really our lack of confidence and our issues within ourselves,
and trust ourselves with our issues, right?
Trust yourself. So look, let's go back to your direct question, because you know, I've worked on a pillar system where we're kind of building the trust, and and I work on pillars, which starts with the kind of product that you have within yourself. What do you stand for? Then, of course, what kind of leadership standards? What part of society do you pay for? What part are you in society? Are you part of the very fabric of society? So there's various pillars that I work with that over a period of time, you can measure that with algorithms and back-end side of things, and you pull it all together. And what does that do? It brings in trust. And what does that do? Shifts behavior.
What is personal branding?
So personal branding is, I mean, Amanda Dambuza brand. You now, for example, I wouldn't just come on anyone's show.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm coming on Amanda Dambuza's show. Why? Because there's trust, there's brand equity, there's efficacy. I know that what happens after this film shoot is not going to land up on the black web or something. These are things one has to consider. So whenever one is managing one's own personal reputation and learning about love, learning about respect, one needs to learn this internally first and pass it on to someone else. You naturally have it. And it's been a privilege for me to know you for the period of time I have. So being associated with you to come onto your show is a natural progression. But what you've got to be careful of on your social media is people, like previously, people have, I think they've tried to hack pictures of your,
they
misuse your name and use. So we've got to manage that. It's not, people have a perception about reputation management, about what the people say about you.
Of course.
It's about what you really are. Who am I? What do I stand for? And yes, your logo plays a part, of course, that's your brand, and your spend on social media, and you're building the brand, advertising, radio, TV, print. But your reputation is about your messages, what you say, when you say it, how you say it. And then, of course, little slips that have happened, we've seen from a crisis management point of view, that unfortunately get our South Africans very upset, and rightfully so.
I think you are in such an exciting space. There's always drama. There's always something to be dealing with.
Well, South Africa, definitely. we definitely, there's always work here.
But I think, and you probably said it, you have said it, that your personal brand and the reputation management alongside that is what remains even after people have tried to steal your pictures and pretend to be you, because they can never be you, right? And you said it earlier, that it's an inside job.
Yes.
I think that's really important. And how do we re-emphasize that? Because, we live in a world where the outcomes are more celebrated than the actual journey.
Yeah.
And people will, when they talk about personal branding, they want to, portray lives that they don't actually have. Right? Because people must clap for that. How do people go about cultivating and actually just being, and I don't want to preempt what you're going to say because now I'm carrying on, but just being authentic with themselves and understanding where they are. How do they move from where they are to really that journey of building a reputable personal brand?
So, it's interesting because I'm working with a couple of chairmen, a couple of CEOs at the moment, and executives coming through the ranks and board level at the moment, and also some SMEs, SEOs of young SMEs coming through the ranks. Wonderful. And what's amazing is that the journey that we go through it's getting that confidence. So women particularly, we struggle with this. And I know this because I really only found my personal confidence at the age of 40.
Well, life begins at 40, Janine. I'm 42, I know.
Okay. So it's a journey, so it is about that confidence. And then the other thing is our messages. So often what happens, we get bored with what we say. So what we do is every speaking engagement or every event we go to, it's a different message, and eventually people don't know what you stand for.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I share with people is there must be some kind of consistency. So put a map together of generally what you stand for, who you are, and be real, be genuine. You're going to make a couple of mistakes.
Of course.
You're going to say the wrong thing, the right thing. It's okay. But what are you as a person? What do you believe in? And what do you stand for? Little mistakes that you got to watch out for. And I mean, as much as I love my champagne, and the first thing I said to you on the show, I hope I'm going to get a glass of champagne. But if you have too many glasses in every photograph you've taken, and there's a glass of champagne, one has to be careful because people will sometimes misuse those kind of things. So it is about being conscious, but it's also about being conscious as a leader. And if you're going to be working in financial services or if you're going to be working with Muslim clients, then one needs to be sensitive to your audience.
Exactly. It's understanding your context.
Exactly.
And I can assure you that I'm quite happy to have a glass of my Veuve at any given time. But what people don't appreciate is that, what message am I bringing out? And my message is all about celebrating your life. But it doesn't mean you must drink 2 bottles a day. It means you must actually be responsible with your life as well.
Exactly.
But I want to touch on something.
Sure.
You've worked across 10 African countries with different leaders and, in government, in private sector, and in SOEs as well. What have you found to be the common theme when it comes to like personal branding and reputation management? What are because you know, when you're in South Africa, you can be very insulated because not a lot of people are quite exposed to what happens in other African countries. And you know, we tend to consume more of the Western society type of ideals. So what would you say are the things that South Africans can really, you know, get to know about these 10 countries that you know, some of the people you've worked with?
You know, we've got a lot in common.
Oh yeah.
You know, this is what is so beautiful.
Yes.
We are a beautiful continent, and we are a beautiful, energetic, warm continent.
Yes.
And there's, to compare that to, you know, the north and the west, I really would start to question, because we are naturally, as a continent, very warm and welcoming.
Diverse. Very diverse.
Correct. Yeah. So that really comes through. The other side of it is that our vernacular.
Yes.
We don't often use our vernacular enough in our continent.
Of course.
It really frustrates me as a reputation management expert, because we miss audiences.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to speak in English or one or two languages. No, you have to look at your audience and map your languages in line with the audience that you've chosen.
I've never thought about that, actually. I've never thought about language that way.
A lot of corporates miss it, and a lot of countries in their communication miss it. So it's something that really needs to be taken very seriously. The other side of it is that leaders, when they're working and talking with a nation, or talking with ministers, or ministers talking with a nation, is about not talking down to people. It's often we make a mistake of talking down, and we need to talk with. So the language style, when I speak about inside out, it's about our people, with our people. I am your people. I am you. That's the kind of style of language to start using, rather than the word them, which immediately creates division.
I'm with you.
You hear what I'm
with you. Yeah. And how does Janine Hills Authentic Leadership help or equip people? What are some of the programs that you run? So
I obviously do a lot of one-on-ones with C-suite. But I also do a lot of workshops with corporates and companies and C-suite and SOEs, the boards, the executive teams. So it's brilliant, because when people start to see the understanding of how deep reputation management is, it's not just about PR and steroids. It's not about manipulating the media. It's actually working with the media and utilizing different platforms. Can I give you an example?
Of course, please.
So I'll give you the example that recently the Clicks. Unilever.
The horrible Clicks. I don't even know what to call it, to be honest. Issues management. So you have the Clicks, Unilever, Xesibe issue, because it's not just Clicks, it's all three aspects. And what I found in that was, it was a mistake made on social media, but when it was a graphic, do you remember it was a graphic picture? But when the apology came, it was in print, just in written format. That's a mistake. Because what happens is people absorb communication in three different ways. Oh, yes.
Think about yourself. You're a visual person and an audible person. So if you're going to match that audience and speak with an audience, you need to capture the minds of those people and be genuine. So what would have been better? To come out with a nice video with a genuine apology, heartfelt, meaningful way, that would have put a stop to it.
But the apology was appalling. In fact, it infuriated people even more, right?
Exactly. And the speed at which it came out, you know, so it is that led to a crisis, and it didn't need to. So from a reputation point of view, it's done a tremendous amount of damage. And people say, well, this is soft stuff. Well,
look what it's done to your bottom line.
You know, well, Amanda, you know this. I mean, Brand Finance just recently released stats, and it's 24% of your brand and reputation is what equates to the bottom line as far as your organization's value.
And you mentioned it earlier about trust. You know, the trust factor is ultimately, you know, how you build that brand equity.
Well, exactly.
So how have you? We can't like just let you go without having a little bit of a conversation around COVID-19. Because I mean, Vastly Sage is really a platform for people to get insights, and to also, it's then what? Because it's great to have these conversations, but it's then what? And I want to switch it up a little bit and go personal. How have you found this COVID-19 period? You know, and I'm asking this question because a lot of people tend to think that, you know, there are some people who are insulated from pain and suffering and challenges and etc. And I often get asked, how do you stay so positive? And I say it's actually a choice. It's not because I'm born with different genes, you know, and that I'm the special one and the chosen one. But so how have you weathered this COVID-19 storm?
So I've been through a very interesting journey, you know. I sold Veuve Reputation Management. So, you know, and quite a few people sort of said, you did what?
Yeah, you are Veuve.
Well, no. I were, because I have some incredible people that bought it. But secondly, they'd been in the business a long time, you know. So the key thing is that building a business, you know, it's your baby.
Yes.
So I had to do that introspection of that letting go.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one thing to have let go in the November before when I made the decision. It's the next decision of not going to the office the very next 1st of April.
Yeah. And you have all these empty spaces.
Exactly. And I just sold my home, and there was a lot of letting go I was going through. So April and May for me was very much an inward look.
Yes.
What do I want to do? Who am I?
Who are you?
What do I like about myself? What don't I like about myself? Where am I going? What is my next journey within myself?
Yes.
So it was a blessing, actually, that I had 2 months. It was a privilege. And
so
of course,
quite reflective.
Very reflective. Yeah. And then, of course, you know, living in a small apartment from a home was a very big adjustment for me. Not having a garden, and I was in an apartment, can you believe this, on the 9th floor, no sun, south facing.
Well, you've got great views. I mean, I've seen it.
Fabulous views. But as an African out of the sun, I took serious strain. And I was cold. So that cold really got to me. But I did a lot of meditation, a lot of work with my spiritual teacher.
Yes.
It couldn't have been a better time for me personally.
Oh, wow.
And it helped me create a business, a brand, a journey of where I wanted to see it go. And then, of course, technology just kind of forced this journey for us to go into.
Yeah, we were like literally thrown in it.
Exactly,
you know?
correct.
Even for some people like me who've been in tech most of my career, it's like, okay, I never signed up for this, you know. But I really appreciate your insights. I really appreciate your time. And it is such a privilege to have you on the show. And what would you say are really your parting shots, your farewell words to our viewers, to our Vastly Sage viewers?
You know, Amanda, everything comes with a lot of hard work. I think we need to learn as a nation, as a continent, to love ourselves. That's the first thing.
Yes.
If I love myself, I can love another being.
Yes, yes.
And we need to watch the tone of our words,
how we speak to each other,
the power of the words.
Yeah.
We have a very violent society, and worldwide as well.
So.
But listen to our words that we use.
Yes.
And so, you know, really, I think within myself, what I've taken myself through is, how do I shift in a society? How do I make a difference? Well, the only way I'm going to make a difference is through myself.
Oh, absolutely.
And so
I love that. I love that so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Really appreciate having you here. And I hope you have somehow taken an insane amount of insights from this, because I have. Personal branding and reputation management is truly an inside job. It is that inward work that you put in before you can project that onto the world. So really think about it. What story is your personal brand telling? And how do you manage your reputation as a result? It is really incumbent upon ourselves to take our brand seriously, because that is who we are to the world. But you cannot be that to the world if you haven't invested the necessary time in understanding who you are and how you show up. And remember, as Janine said, across 10 different countries, we all face similar issues. And ultimately, I really believe that love of self is the solution to pretty much all these reputation management and personal branding issues. So I really hope you took something out of this episode, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching Vastly Sage.
And this is how you found